The technology measures the internal optics of the eye.
Medical breakthrough giving new hope to people with blindness.
It's a rare inherited eye condition.
More than 600,000 people in the UK have age-related macular degeneration.
Does human vision decrease in the ability to perceive colors as we grow older? Are our cities and lives moving towards a way more desaturated landscape? And how do social media and big corporations profit off a grey world? I don't have many memories of my childhood, but the few that I have something in common. I remember it way more vibrant and colorful than it is today, and don't get me wrong, I'm not that old yet. However, there's a clear distinction between the way I see the world now and how it was when I was 9. Something has changed. Color vision is a fundamental aspect of our sensory perception. It allows us to perceive and interpret the world around us, however. As we get older, we experience changes in our ability to perceive and distinguish colors. But is that really true? Well, apparently, yes. In a study from 2010 published in Vision Research, Werner and Schäffrin offer a better resolution to this phenomenon of age-related changes in our perception of colors. And there are 3 important factors to look at. A primary factor to the age-related changes is the transformation of the eye's lenses, because as we grow older, the lens becomes less transparent and takes on a yellowish hue. This yellowing of the lens selectively absorbs shorter wavelength light, particularly blue and violet colors, resulting in a perception of these colors as less vivid. This phenomenon is referred to as lens aging, and it gradually diminishes one's ability to perceive the entire spectrum of colors faithfully. The retina, a critical component of the visual system, harbors photoreceptor cells known as cones, which are responsible for color vision. And as you guessed it, with age, they may become less sensitive, particularly the short wavelength sensitive cones that are crucial for blue color perception. As a consequence, this can lead to difficulties in distinguishing blue and green hues. Our brain is also a culprit to this crime. Subtle alterations in our color processing pathways can influence color discrimination and the perception of color saturation. So in places with low light, we may be less able to distinguish various hues. But is this all there is to it? Does the world feel less vibrant in colors just because of these factors? Let's start with the beginning of gray. In an article from 1993, Jack Nassar and James Fisher argue that the visual quality of urban environments has a significant impact on people's perceptions, emotions, and behaviors. There are a number of visual elements that contribute to urban vitality, such as its complexity, variety, contrast, order, and unity. I think we can all agree that now most cities are built with the intention of functionality over its complexity and identity now. That's why we don't see any more cities built in old European style, but more like skyscrapers everywhere and parking lots. They lack visual, vital urban key elements such as historic city centers have a rich mix of architectural styles, building heights, and street patterns, and most of the time have multiple uses such as residential, commercial, and cultural. A good example of this is the historic city center of Prague of the Czech Republic, where the city's heart encapsulates centuries of history and cultural influences that range from Romanesque and Gothic to Baroque and Renaissance. The varying building heights contribute to the dynamic skyline, with medieval towers standing alongside Renaissance palaces and Baroque churches. This mix of heights adds character and depth to the cityscape, and as you can tell, due to the variety of materials and most important architectural designs in its construction, it adds color alongside its complexity, form, and structure. Opposite Prague, we have the capital of Moldova, Chisinau, a former communist country that was part of the Soviet Union and now faces challenges in maintaining and revitalizing its urban landscapes, including its city center. During the communist period, utilitarian architecture prevailed in the design choices of the city. leading to the construction of many concrete buildings that lacked distinctive designs or aesthetic appeal. The same buildings display signs of neglect and aging facades, crumbling exteriors, and a lack of maintenance. Due to the historical focus on rapid and functional urban development during the communist regime, there was less attention paid to comprehensive urban planning or the preservation of historical buildings. These designs were not random or casual. They were influenced by the political and social principles of the ruling party, aiming to facilitate control and order. From the capitalist side of the world, a good example would be Gary, Indiana in the US, a city in economic decline, population, urban neglect, and crime. It predominantly features a mix of industrial, early 20th century and mid-21st century architectural styles, and it is heavily influenced by its industrial history and economic ties to the steel industry. Both of these examples lack complexity, contrast, variety, order, and unity. They are very different at their core, but it shows that a lack of understanding of why these are important can have a devastating effect on the population, economy, and its colors. Another clear pattern can be seen in the objects that fill our exterior space, such as cars, restaurants, mailboxes, city lights, or even garbage cans. Before the 2000s, the external world was painted with a diverse and lively spectrum. Take cars for instance. The Global Automotive 2022 Color Popularity Report clearly indicates that since 1953, the most popular color choices for cars went from green, blue, red, white, and black to mostly only colors of grays and somewhere some blue, and not only in one part of the world, but everywhere. Back in the past, they vivid colors, unique combinations and designs, reflecting the individuality and spirit of their owners and the public demand of that period. But now, every model seems to be a replica of the previous one, and the most vivid colors such as yellow and green make up only a total of 1% of all colors in the world. But this is not only a customer preference, but rather, these are the only available choices. Research by sociologists and marketing experts has indicated a collective movement toward minimalism and subtlety, which have influenced the choices made by manufacturers and designers. Industrial changes have streamlined mass production processes, leading to cost-effective and efficient production. This streamlined process might favor a limited palette due to ease of production, standardization, and cost efficiency. Technological advancements have enabled new materials and design possibilities that might be more suited to a restrained color palette. For instance, the prevalence of materials like stainless steel, glass, and aluminum might favor a more subdued aesthetic. While subdued colors resonate with contemporary tastes and practical considerations, the disappearance of vibrant external objects might contribute to a visual homogenization of our surroundings. Moreover, as seen in studies related to color psychology, vibrant and varied colors have been linked to enhancing moods, stimulating creativity, and positively impacting mental health. The problem isn't only outside our homes, unfortunately. Interior design has also shifted drastically in the past 25 years. From the use of a rich tapestry of colors, textures, and designs, the general home space has moved towards more muted, subdued color palettes and minimalistic objects and furniture, and it's not necessarily bad. Psychological studies indicate that minimalistic and neutral color schemes might induce a sense of calmness, spaciousness, and order, aligning with contemporary desires for tranquility in the home environment, tranquility that the average person needs after commuting for 3 hours a day just to get to work. The shift towards more subdued interior design has brought forth a sense of visual coherence and modernity. However, it raises questions about the emotional and psychological impact of our living spaces. The diminishing diversity in color within homes might potentially affect our moods, creativity, and overall well-being. But why is this happening? What is the reason that got us here? Who's making a profit off all of this?
This year is a critical one in the aesthetic side of modern architecture. This is the number of today's dollars that we shall spend in construction during the next 10 years. $500 billion. This is roughly equivalent to the value of all the buildings standing in the United States today. Moreover, it's the minimum amount of construction that will provide for a growing population in an expanding economy. So we shall be witnessing a unique historic event, a country almost doubling its building investment in about 10 years' time, an investment of about $500 billion.
What kind of beauty are we going to buy with all that money? We're still impressed with the buildings that came to us out of the past. The Greek temple, the Gothic cathedral. The aesthetics of architecture depends on the stuff with which we work, with which we work.
While the move towards simplicity and functionality might be seen as progress in terms of efficiency and practicality, it is concerning regarding its impact on our culture, heritage, future generations, and mental health, especially now when it reaches every year new heights. However, this is a fair trade that delivers high profits. This is a graph of the revenue of the most profitable companies in 2023. The game of capitalism has one big rule, and that rule is profit. In order to keep making a profit over time, the quality of the things we buy gets worse, from its design to the cheap colors to even the durability of the product. So that's who we have to blame. Capitalism and the big corporations? Well, it's complicated. At one point of the argument, we're also to blame because we're the ones shaping our future. And it is shaped like this by all our daily choices, from what we buy to who we vote to represent us, to who we hire to design our cities and homes, to what clothes we choose to wear, and by how much we are influenced by current trends. There is someone else who makes a profit from this palette of grays, concrete, and muted tones. Someone that, frankly, you're using right now. The digital world offers an entirely different experience, isn't it? Social media platforms with their high-definition screens and a kaleidoscope of colors provide a huge contrast to what we have around us. It draws us into a realm of visual richness and emotional stimulation compared to our desaturated, dull, real world. Exposure to vibrant colors creates positive emotions, while desaturated surroundings might trigger feelings of detachment or disinterest. So, we shouldn't be surprised about the fact that more and more people are addicted to their phones, and the new generations are exposed to this phenomenon from their infant years. For most of us, childhood's most colorful object in our homes was maybe our old TV and maybe our toys. But this is changing. I am 24, and sometimes I have to delete some of my social media apps because they get me addicted very easily. It is far easier to fall into social media addiction because it doesn't show any visible damages, except maybe a feel of soreness and headache at times. Now think about how this could impact our future children if exposed from their early years of life, especially when our brain matter can be easily shaped and our dopamine receptors literally burned. How would you combat the absence of colors in our world? Leave a comment below and let us know. As stated at the beginning of the video, we see the world most colorful when we're young, so by the time the world around a kid will get more and more desaturated, not only by aging, but by also moving towards more and more grayish tones in our homes and cities, the only thing that will provide a sense of comfort and color will be the digital world. And with Apple's announcement this year of Apple Vision Pro, it's no-brainer to figure out that in the future, the digital space will invade more and more our space and use what it has best to get the most of our time.